Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us on today's session. We're going to be talking about how to maximize the profits in your plumbing or HVAC business with KPIs, key performance indicators, and KTIs, which you might not know about, and that's something really interesting. Joe's got some tremendous insights. If you don't know who Joe O'Grady is, he's a world-class expert in this plumbing and HVAC space, helping plumbing and HVAC business owners just like you really get a better handle on your business, better control of your operations, and ultimately better profits and profit margins. And I can say that because over the last couple of years, he's worked with a number of our clients, and I've seen them go from virtually no control of their revenues and profits to the point where they're operating more and more like well-oiled machines. They know their numbers, they know their metrics, and their profitability is growing. And so as I see that happen, I get excited about how do I share this with our clients? How do I share this with the people that come to us for ideas on marketing, on business development, especially online? And so that's who Joe is. I'm really excited about today's topic. I'm glad to have you with us here today live. A couple things. So right now this session is live. So make sure you find your comments box and you engage with us. That way you can ask questions and get them answered. That's the purpose of a live session like this. And then secondarily, I'm going to put a poll out there, and it's going to go up for a couple minutes. And I'm just asking, what type of business do you run? Are you plumbing, HVAC, plumbing and HVAC, or electrical, or maybe even some other type of business? And as those results come in, awesome. Thank you guys. I guess that poll worked. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds, and then we will kick this off with Joe. So, Joe, I don't know if you're seeing the poll results as they come in or not.
So I'm not seeing the results. Okay.
So I'm going to put this on my screen for the recorded version. So what we're getting is 36% of you are plumbing companies, 42% are HVAC, 1% electrical. Plumbing that one I wrote plumbing and electrical should have been plumbing and HVAC, so that might have skewed our numbers. And about 20% are other industries. So good diversity, maybe a little bit more heavily weighted towards the HVAC than the plumbing, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you guys for answering that, for interacting. And without further ado, I want to kick this off to Joe. Joe, let's take it away.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Josh, as usual. You are a gracious host, and you bring a great crowd. How many people do we have on the line here?
So right now, we have 51 live attendees from all over the country and a couple international, it looks like.
Yeah, I saw some Canada up there. Cool. Well, what I'd like to do is I'm going to share my screen in a minute, and we're going to go through a presentation to talk to you about KTIs, key training indicators, and how they work with KPIs, and how you can grow your business and become more profitable simply by training your staff better. It's not just about training. It's really about being able to analyze the numbers that you're given. And I see a bunch of different systems: Desco, Service Titan, Service Fusion, Housecall Pro, Lensoft. These are all great systems. But the thing is, it's very difficult to read. I hope you'll see that throughout the presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if this works. I'm not the most technologically proficient person. Did that work, Josh?
It worked.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, so let's dive in. We're going to talk about how to maximize profit with KPIs and KTIs. Now, one of the things that I prefer is if you have any questions, to just type them in, and Josh, you'll see them and kind of stop me, and let's answer them as we go.
Yep.
All right, so we're fresh in the moment. Is that okay?
Yep, I've got the questions box open, guys, so whether you type it in questions or you type it in comments, I'll see it. I'll try and find the best time to interrupt Joe, and we'll try and address these questions as they come.
Cool. Now, I'd like to do a quick housekeeping, and that is, I feel that I should warn everybody about a few things about me. One, I'm born and raised in New York, in the Bronx. I am a no bullshit kind of guy, and every once in a while, I let some words fly. I'm kind of an HR nightmare, but I promise you today I will tone it down. But my thing is, I'm a no BS kind of a guy, and I want you to be honest with me. Okay? I'll be honest with you if you promise to be honest with me. Fair enough?
Yep.
I'm sure everybody said yes. So let's dive right in. My promise to you is I'm going to show you exactly how to increase profits in your plumbing, electrical, and HVAC business, okay? You'll be able to make more money and have more freedom. It's all about profits and freedom. And you won't needlessly have to waste your hard-earned resources on other things. It's really, you can do this yourself. Now, the thing I want to impress upon you is this is not rocket science. This is not magic. It just takes focus and the willingness to do something different. All right? So I promise you, this can help you. I see a question in there, Josh. Is that a...
So I think the question
coming?
that you're seeing, a couple people saying yes, yes, yes. They'll be honest with you. You're honest with them. There's a couple questions about like House Call Pro versus Desco. Maybe we'll save those to the end. But yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool. All right, let's see if I can get this thing working again. There we go. All right, and another promise, if you stay to the end of the webinar, I'm going to give you a free gift. It's a $630 value, all right? So I want you to stay to the end. I'll give you something for free, and I promise you it will be worth it. But in order to do this, I do need your full attention. If you're serious about growing your business and your profits, then turn off your cell phone, turn off Facebook, and if you're a plumbing, electrical, and HVAC business owner and you're serious, then the next 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how many questions you ask, I promise you will change your life. I want you to be here in the now, all right? And I'm here in beautiful Florida in our studio. It's really hot. We don't have AC, so you're going to see me constantly taking some sips of water because I'm not the thinnest guy around, so if I drop out of the screen, somebody call 911. Let's talk about why you should even bother listening to me. Who the hell is Joe O'Grady, okay? I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. I've owned a DJ business. Believe it or not, I've owned 3 ballroom dance studios, and I've gotten into this space because I found contracting through Clockwork Home Services. And honestly, contractors saved my life. I was in a really bad place when I found contracting, and I found Clockwork Home Services, and it changed the way I looked at life, and it really brought me out of a dark place. So I have a great admiration for this business. And quite truthfully, one of the first guys I met is my friend Ron Williams, who you'll see on this slide presentation. I didn't know plumbers could be millionaires. I couldn't fathom it. So I have great admiration. I love this industry. I love all the contractors. I love this business. I happened to, at one point, run a multi-unit franchise, a $11 million plumbing and HVAC business. I was the director of operations. And yes, I am the self-named director of awesomeness. But I'm sure that after this webinar, some of you will see why I am titled as such. All right. I've also worked with hundreds, and maybe even thousands of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC contractors all over this country. I have traveled all over this country. I've been to every state within the continental U.S. working with contractors, all right? And I've helped them be more profitable, and I do it by getting them to understand what their numbers mean, all right, and how to use KTI. And here's the thing. I have a 22-year-old autistic son. Love him to death. But he's 22, and he still believes in the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. Come on, we know that shit's not real. Numbers don't lie. You can't go by your feelings. You have to run your business by the numbers. So imagine what life would be like for you. Just close your eyes for a second. Listen to my voice. What would it be like if your company was operating like a well-oiled machine? You didn't have to be there day to day. you had clear indicators every day in every area of the company to determine what's off track, what's on track. Every member of your team knew their goals. They were on the same page. They were rowing in the same direction. And they were doing it so that they got their attaboys and so that they had a good team culture. Now, what if the most important aspects of your company were improving on a consistent and ongoing basis? I just had a conversation with a gentleman today who has a plumbing company. He's been in business for 30 years. Him, in business for 30 years. He has no exit strategy. He's doing about $1.2 million after 30 years. That is not consistent growth, my friend. Okay, so you really should take a look at where you are now and where you want to be. Create a roadmap. And what if your bottom line profits are where they should be and you were able to live in abundance? Why is it that we're in business for profit and yet it's the last thing in our P&L? Okay? And you look at that and you go, hey, I did pretty good. I did 10% profit. Let's say it's $150,000, $200,000. Is that money in your bank right now? Probably not. So let me give you a little proof. Give you a little success story. I worked with a company that when I came in, they were doing about $400,000. All right? It was a plumbing operation. They started with 5 techs. They had 5 techs, but they were running at a negative 8% monthly. That means every month, no matter how much they brought in, they were losing 8%. When I came in there, I actually fired 3 of the techs, and I only hired 1 more. All right? So I ended up hiring 2 more. So I had 4 techs total at the end. Okay? And I created KPI tracking for all areas of the company. Every single area, from my service manager to my warehouse director, we all had KPIs. I had KPIs. And then I learned an algorithm how to analyze trends if I were continually tracking them. And I turned those KPIs, key performance indicators, into KTIs, which are key training indicators. And I trained them on what was needed, not just haphazardly, whatever. Oh, no, we need more money. Let's train these guys. 9 months later, we were at $1.2 million in sales and at a 21.4% net profit. I don't know. Sounds like a success to me. So I kind of have a little bit of knowledge about what I'm talking about. I'm just a little bit dangerous when it comes to this stuff, but I'm overly passionate about it, and I hope that you understand my passion by the end of this webinar. So here's what we're going to cover today. What gets measured gets worked on. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. All right? We're going to talk about your main KPIs and KTIs that you should be tracking, and we're going to specifically go over which ones are going to move the needle. And I'm a firm believer, if it isn't written and seen, not just written, it has to be seen, it isn't even real. It doesn't matter. The importance of having a visual dashboard that is updated on a consistent basis is so important. And guess what? Everybody should see it. A lot of owners, now I'm not saying put your monthly goal or your monthly financials up there. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about basic KPIs that you can train on. So I'll show you that in a little bit. With clear KPIs and KTIs, everything in your business is going to improve and your profits will soar. I do promise you that. I've seen it hundreds of times. And I'm going to show you today exactly how to use your KPIs, analyze them into KTIs, and identify those areas that are going to improve your business and have the biggest impact on your bottom line. Is that what everybody wants? Type yes if that's what you're looking for out of this webinar. Let me get some yeses. I love audience participation. I want to know that I'm not standing up here alone like a schmuck.
All right, we're getting lots of comments. We're getting lots of comments, Joe. Evergreen says yes. Debbie says yes. Damon says absolutely. Jason says yes. Eric, I'm not going to read. He says F yes. So yeah, you've got some engagement. That's what everybody wants to hear. So thanks, guys, for the participation.
Hey, Josh, did it actually say the letter F, or did it say fuck yeah?
Full word.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll let it slide. All right, let's dive right in. What gets measured gets worked on. So the basic theory is, what KPIs are you tracking, right? A lot of guys spend so much time worrying about their cost of doing business, their material. Now, those are important things, no doubt. But you don't even bother with your CSR conversion rate. Do you realize the first instance a customer has really touching your company is your CSR? They're some of the least trained people in most organizations, okay? Most of you guys are really, I get told all the time, my team is doing a great job. My CSRs are converting better than 80%. I hear it all the time. Everybody tries to bullshit me, all right? If you say that but don't have the numbers to back it, you're probably way off. And I'm going to prove that to you, okay? So KPI are key performance indicators. They're financial indicators. KTIs are training indicators. These are things that you utilize and analyze to find out where the holes are and what to train on, okay? Why would you even bother tracking basic KTIs? They give you a visual representation of the performance of your team. And listen, that word visual is extremely important to this. These KPIs are going to allow you to analyze and plan your training more effectively. Oh shit, we got no money. These guys aren't bringing in money. They're not making sales. What are we going to do? Well, let's get them some training. What kind of training do they need? So KTIs really help you with the defensive mode of business and allow you to be more proactive and strategic. Here is one of the biggest things. It helps create a team culture. And I'm not talking about, a competitive team culture, because it does do that a little bit. But what it does is it lets your technicians and your staff, all of your staff, know how they've known when they've done a good job. Let me ask you, Josh. Josh, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Josh, one of your account managers, pick one.
Allison.
How does Allison know that she's done a good job for your company?
Based on the retention rate of the client base, based on the responses to NPS scores, based on how effectively she completes her monthly touches with the client base.
Okay. And is that posted somewhere where she can see it and go, hey, I've hit all my benchmarks. I am doing a good job.
It will be soon, thanks to your new KTI board you made for us.
Good answer, Josh. But right now, she doesn't. She has to wait for you to come and say, hey, Allison, great job. Now, here's the thing. I had a technician who actually was doing okay, not great. And before I developed this system, I remember hearing the owner of the company say, hey, I'm going to give you another month, but if you don't bring up your numbers, we're going to have to let you go. First of all, that's threatening. That is not a good culture to live in. So he was doing $20,000 a month. The next month, he did $21,600, and the owner cut him loose. And he said, why? I brought my numbers up. He had no clear-cut definition of what bringing it up means. So this will help with a team culture, guaranteed. So tracking also allows you to find specific areas where your team needs training and issues. By just saying yes in the box, how many of you were shocked to find that one of your techs all of a sudden was doing side work? Like, out of nowhere, you're like, I would never think this person was doing side work. Or better yet, a tech walks in out of nowhere and just quit. You had no idea. Tracking and analyzing these trends on a KTI board will show you those issues so you can correct them and address them before they become a problem for your company. All right, Here are the KPIs you should be tracking to move the needle. I told you I'd give you exact. Here are the exact ones. First, your CSR conversion ratio. I said it before. This is the front line of your company. The first time the customer even has any contact with you. Even if they see the truck and get the phone number, even if they look you up online, even if they're 90 years old and finally get that Yellow Pages open, they're not touching you yet. But when they call, that's a touch. So your CSRs have to be the best of the best. And the only way to do that is through training. But how do you know if you're not tracking them? Also, if you're paying someone to do your marketing, let's say your marketing spend is $10,000 a month, and your CSRs are converting at 50%, you might as well burn $5,000 every month. Just take it and throw it out the window. Okay? So, CSR conversion ratio should be 85% or better. Doesn't matter whether you're charging a service fee or not. It does not matter. It should be 85%. Technician conversion ratio. A good, comfortable conversion ratio is 75%. If a tech runs 10 jobs and he sells 7, that's a 70% conversion ratio. He's still slacking. Okay? And those numbers make a big difference on your bottom line. Average ticket. Now, this depends on a couple of things. It depends on demographically where or geographically where you are and the trade you're in. Okay, HVAC, but this is a blended average. Quite truthfully, you'll figure this number out by setting your budget at the beginning of the year and backing it down and figuring out how many trucks you have and what they have to do to hit that number. But quite truthfully, 650 is a good average. If you have maintenance plans, oh, I pray you have maintenance plans. But if you have maintenance plans, running the company calmly, smoothly, as is, 25% is a good ratio to hit. So for all the sales you make, all the people you service, okay, 25% of them should be on a maintenance plan or entered into a maintenance plan. If you are going to grow the company or sell the company, you have to hit 40%. So for those of you who don't have an exit strategy, I'm going to give you a little hint. If you don't have maintenance plans and you don't have systems and procedures in place, you're not going to get what you think that company's worth. So start thinking about maintenance plans. Let me give you an example, okay? This is a company, great guys, super great guys. They're up in New York State. And when I first met them, the conversation went like this. Joe, I love what you do, but I'm not sure if we need you. Oh, okay, cool. Because I sit right by our two girls answering the phone, and our conversion rates, they book every call. I said, every single call? Yeah, they book every single call. They're at 100%. I said, okay, what about your technicians? Let me tell you, I have 3, so he had like 15 techs. He said, I have 3 of the best technicians in the state of New York. They are my rock stars. And my other techs follow suit. He said, we're averaging 80% of conversions and closes. I said, great. And what's your average ticket? He said, oh, that I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's around $600-700. I said, awesome. I said, can we prove that? He said, well, yeah, I just told it to you. I said, so where are the numbers to back it up? He said, well, Joe, I'm telling you, I know my guys. I know what they do. Okay. I said, I'm going to give you something for free. And I helped him set up a KTI board. I'm now going to show you his KTI board. And by the way, when he set it up, he took a picture of it. He sent it to me and called me at the same time. And his exact words were, oh shit, what do I do? Can everybody see this, I hope?
We're seeing it, yeah.
This is his KTI board. Oh, by the way, red is bad and green is good. Okay? So the first column, the first column are the calls they ran. The second column are the calls they closed. The third column is their conversion ratio. The fourth column is their money in month to date. And the second to last column is their ticket average for a training average, not a true average. But it's their average ticket. And the last column is their maintenance plan. This is over the course of 23 days, I think. Now let's take a look at something. Can everybody see that? By the way, Brad, Jeff, and Wayne, those are his rock stars. Those are the guys he gave most of the calls to. Those are the rock stars in his company. Okay?
Hey, Joe, Misty's asking you if you could repeat those columns just real briefly for them.
Yes. So the first column are the calls they ran, right? The second column are the calls they sold. The third column are their conversion ratios, sales to closes to calls ran. The next column is their money in month to date because it rolls up. And the next column is their average ticket. Okay,
all right, guys, I posted that in comments, so now they've got a visual. They can kind of see what's what. Good question, Misty. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That was a great question. So here's the deal. These three guys are his superstar techs. Superstars. Oh, they're the best in the state of New York. And I'm sure you all have great techs. But here's the deal. Look at their numbers. They were killing him. They had the highest number of calls that they ran because they were the go-to guys. All right? This guy thought he dispatched for profit. When a call came in for a leaking water heater, send Brad. Get Brad. Brad's the only one who can run that call. And they were three of his lowest performing techs. What a waste of money. Now look at these three guys. These are guys, he barely knew their names, okay, because this board is done in alphabetical order. They've worked for him for 2 to 5 years. They're his steady eddies guys. These are guys he just never put stock into, never thought they were doing anything. They are three of his highest, no, they are his only high producers. Okay?
Yeah, and for those of you that might be listening to this and not see the visual, like for instance, Brad's average ticket was only $271, which was one of his top guys. The other one, go back to the other screen real quick, Joe. Jeff, one of his top guys, he thought his guys were converting at 100%, and Jeff was converting
no, he said 80%, 80%.
Converting at 8%. So just to give you, some contrast.
His average ticket was $80 for the month. Woohoo! Boy, I bet they love feeding his family for free. Okay. So, I'm sure you get the visual, but here's the thing that this board points out. If it's not tracked and seen, that's the key. You have to see it. You have to look at it. It has to be in front of your face. It has to be visual. Then you really have no clue what's going on, right? Okay. So with that, if it's not, and that just proves the point, if it isn't written and seen, it isn't real, right? So basically, where are your KPIs posted? Most companies don't post them. As a matter of fact, most companies get a DMR or they're on a Service Titan thing and they print a report and the owner or manager looks at it. And I got news for you guys. I'd love to sit and talk with you about what you're really looking at, because chances are the first thing you look at, how much money came in. Well, that is important, no doubt. But if your techs are not producing, there's a reason for it, and these numbers can show you that reason. Now, why won't you show certain things to your team? Let them know if they're doing a good job. Most owners think, I have all my data on my system, right? Whatever it is. So I know those numbers.
And
Joe, we talked about team.
Sorry,
what's
go ahead.
That?
Yeah, Joe, at the beginning we asked people to tell us what systems they're using, and this was pretty on point. Some people using Service Titan, some people using House Call Pro, some people using Excel. And so the standard practice what Joe's talking about is you've got the information, you might look at the dashboard, but you're not putting it up in a visual place for your team to see. So yeah, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I did want to make that point.
No, that's okay. I want you to take a look at something, right? If you don't have those numbers color-coded and up-to-date, live in front of your team, they're not going to know if they're doing a good job. People want to do a good job. Your technicians want to be the best. Believe me, don't think they're totally lazy. They're only lazy because they don't even know what a good job is. To them, they're working 40, 50 hours a week. They already think they're doing a good job for you. Okay? It's not about the hours they work. It's about what they do with those hours. All right? And no one is holding them accountable for their standards. So let me show you something. All right, what is this? Field Edge. This is a Field Edge dashboard. It's colorful. Can anyone look at that and tell me how the team is doing quickly or what technicians need help? No, you can't. Okay? All right. House Call Pro. I love the program, but holy shit, it would take me 10 minutes to analyze this. I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, okay, I brought in $180,000 or what? I don't even know what. Did they bring in 202,000 or 180? I don't know. And here it is, Old Faithful. Oh, right, Service Titan, which, by the way, I love these programs. They are phenomenal to help you run and grow your business. But they're not going to show you how to train your staff, and they're not going to tell your staff. And I have companies that put their Service Titan board up in their training room, and you have to literally look for where you are and what you're doing. It's not color-coded. This is a color-coded KTI board. I can look on this board in a second, and I know that Tech 1 and Tech 3 are slacking off. I can look at the bottom and know that we are not achieving our conversion rate or our maintenance plan goals immediately. Can everybody see that and understand that?
Give them a second. Give them a second to type it in, and while they kind of process this, I'll make 2 points. Eric posted the GOAT. I think he was talking about Service Titan. So yeah. So Joe's not saying these systems aren't necessary, because they're completely necessary. But you need to get the data out of your system and get it in a visual place like this. And so yeah, people are now saying they're getting it. They see it. Kevin says, how about a new construction KTI board?
Okay, so here's the deal. Who said that, Kevin?
That was Kevin Dyer.
Okay, Kevin, I have not worked in the new construction field. As a matter of fact, I have 2 members right now that we're pulling out of new construction and getting them into residential, simply because they're not seeing the profit they need to, but they can get it in residential. I can't answer that because I don't work in that field. I don't understand it. I see no money in it. I see no profit in new construction.
So Brian says Brian says nice clean KTI board. Thanks, Brian. Glad to have you with us. Strictly talking residential. Okay, let's keep going.
Yes, I am strictly talking residential. Absolutely. Yeah, this is all residential. So, unfortunately, I can't talk about new construction or industrial. I don't have that knowledge, and I'm all about residential. That's where the money is. All right. So you can see clearly on this board what's needed. So with clear KPIs and KTIs, everything in your business can and will improve. Let's prove that to you. So these boards, and we have CSR boards. I'm going to show you the whole thing. They should be up in your training room and in your CSR area, because the truth is you want your techs and your CSRs to know that they're doing a good job. They should be updated every day. Listen, I had 28 trucks at one time, and I can tell you now it took me 20 minutes to do the whole board. And by the way, I used Successware. I just got a report, a daily management report, like most of you get from Service Titan, House Call Pro, all that. And I just used that, and I went up and did my numbers on the board. Okay, but it's the visual aspect, the color coding, and the fact that your technicians have access to it. Okay? Your techs and CSRs should truly understand and track their own KPIs. You could have asked any one of my technicians, what are you converting at today or for the week? And he or she would be able to tell you. Absolutely, without a doubt. be able to tell you. And this is what would happen. I'd say, so-and-so, John, what are you tracking at for conversion this week? And he'd do one of two things. He would either go, I'm at 80%, or he'd go, yeah, I'm right around 60. He knew, but he knew whether he was doing a good job or not. Okay? Look, I got so excited I lost my headphones. I just love it when technicians, now here's the funny thing. I had a 20-year veteran technician who learned this KTI board and loved the fact that it helped him with his training, because he saw that when we trained on certain things, right, his conversion rates went up. And he actually, in front of a group of technicians, stopped me and said, Joe, I'm doing all the training. I'm doing everything you're saying. We're following this. But my average tickets haven't moved. Would you do a ride along with me to see what I'm doing? He asked for training. When was the last time a technician asked you for training? Okay? Big culture moving stuff. So, I also believe your service manager and office manager should be diligent with this board. It's not, if you have a service manager and an office manager, they're the ones who should do it. The owner should just have the DMR, and the service managers and office managers, they're the ones who run this, because they're the ones managing the people, and the owner is leading the company, okay? So again, that which is tracked gets worked on. Period. End of story.
Absolutely. And just so you know, Jason just posted, boom, this is awesome info. Thank you. So good work. Keep it up.
So can you do me a favor? If you think it's awesome, can you say awesome sauce? Just type in awesome sauce. And as a matter of fact, just say awesome sauce, and it's going to make you smile. It's a great phrase.
Awesome sauce. Right. Awesome sauce, guys.
Awesome sauce.
All right, okay. Misty's awesome sauce. Prolific Plumbing, awesome sauce. Mike Hendricks, awesome sauce. Debbie, awesome sauce. All right, the awesome sauces are rolling in. Good stuff.
Boom! Okay, so here we go. This is a CSR KTI board. Okay, it is much more intricate than the technician board, because this tracks different things. The top portion of this board, the calls by day, this is your daily booking efficiency, okay? And that's going to help you figure out where you need to put calls. The second portion is your departmentalized efficiency. And this is the part that's going to help you figure out what marketing channels you need to put in, and when you need to call Josh and say, hey, I need some help, okay? Because that's the departmentalized efficiency is where that's at. And the bottom is your CSR conversion rate to see if they're doing a good job. And the last one, where it says percentage of calls, that is to see if you have too many CSRs for the amount of calls you're getting. All right, so it helps you with your inventory of workload.
Hey, Joe, now, Richard is asking, is this digital? So maybe we need to reiterate the...
Okay, so Richard, it is not digital. These are dry erase boards, and here's the reason for it. Could it be done digitally? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the impact of having someone take their time to put these numbers up there and put them in front of your technicians means that it's serious, that it's something that needs to be looked at. And hey, if my service manager went through this kind of trouble, you're damn sure I'm going to make sure everybody notices it. And I'm going to make sure everybody monitors it. Yes, digital age, I get it. In this age of digital where everybody's sitting there texting and sending emails, there's still some old school things. Can it be made digital, Richard? Yes, it can be made digital.
But there's power. Yeah. There's power in having it visual and having it handwritten by somebody on your team.
Correct. There is a little power there. But it can be done digitally. Yes, it can. All right. So let's analyze the board. Part of this is KTIs, is it's a training indicator. So before I made a misstep, I said red is bad and green is good. Here's the truth. Red is a training indicator, and green is an area of study. What I mean by that is, if you have an area in red, it's not so bad because it can be fixed. Like here, if your booking efficiency is low, we've analyzed that you need to check your marketing funnel and start outbounding to fill with maintenance calls, as well as having your service manager start calling estimates or options they've left behind over the past couple of weeks and see if they can get back in for a second opinion. And by seeing this daily, it makes your higher echelon staff actually do their job and really get back in there. All right? And also, simple, by analyzing your departmentalized calls, all right, this is all about your marketing. This is where you find issues in your marketing. If you have less than 60% of your calls on a daily basis that are less than 60% demand or service calls, and you're filling that with maintenance and warranty calls, you have an issue. You're not going to make as much money. There's not the value there. That's when you need to go to Josh or somebody and say, hey, what do I do to get more demand calls in? I've seen companies that run because, they pay for marketing, and then they set up this board and realize 80% of their calls daily, 80% are maintenance calls or callbacks or warranties. Only 20% of their daily calls are organic coming in from marketing and new customers or service and demand. But because they have calls on the board and because they're sending their technicians on jobs, they think everything's okay. If it's not written in theme, it's not real.
Powerful, powerful stuff. Brian's asking, are these KTIs trade specific, for example, plumbing or HVAC?
Okay, so no, they're not. Not on the CSRs. It changes a little bit depending on your technicians, but we'll get to that in a minute. A well-run company, now the top portion, that's done by company because you have X amount of trucks and you have to figure out how many calls you really need. But the departmentalized efficiency is not trade specific, okay? It really, if you want to run the company smoothly and nicely, these are really good numbers to stick with industry-wide. Residential, okay? Now, this does not include your install department. If you're HVAC and you have install departments, that's a separate ballgame, and I can talk to you offline about that, all right? Did that answer, who asked that question?
That was Brian Sloan. Let us know if that answered it, Brian, and we'll keep
Brian,
forward.
Did that answer your question, Brian?
Sounds great. You said that's good. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So here is, this is your Technician KTI board. We saw it. And we do the same thing. We analyze the numbers. So if your technicians have a low conversion rate, their chances are they're not creating a relationship with the customer. They're not asking good relationship questions. They're not taking the time to provide value and asking for the order. And quite frankly, the customer just doesn't trust them. And here's the thing. I'll bet you $1 if you look at your no sales throughout your company for the last month, okay, and you look at their time on the job, I'll bet it's less than 45 minutes. And there is no way in hell you can go to a demand call and in 45 minutes create a relationship and diagnose the problem and come up with options and sit down and explain those to the customer in a way they'll understand. Okay? So they need training on that. If their average ticket is low, very simple. They're not doing full system inspections. They're not giving solution-based options. Listen, folks. Good, better, best is dead. Zig Ziglar was a great man. He wrote some incredible books, had a great philosophy on sales. But the economy has changed, the buyer has changed, and the method they buy has changed. The internet has changed everything. Good, better, best, Band-Aid Cadillac, that's old school way of thinking, solution-based options, because you're not selling anything. You're giving them solutions to their problem. Prevent, replace, repair. These are all things that we teach and that you can analyze what's going on. right? They're not doing full system inspections. They're fix-it guys. You get a low average ticket, you got a broke fix guy, all right? Now, here's the other thing, not believing in the price. You know your technicians do it all the time. The parts cost this much. I get paid this much. How come we're charging this much? Because you have a business to run, my friend, and nobody's ever explained that to them. Okay, so you want to break down the trucks and let them know. All right, so this is an analyzation of the board. Now, if you have maintenance plans, if you're not having luck getting your technicians to offer them, not to sell them, I don't want them selling them, to offer them to you, here's a great test. Ask your technicians tomorrow, what is the number one benefit to the customer for our maintenance programs? And if they say the discounted price that we give them, they have no clue what the flipping program is all about. They don't think like the customer. They're thinking like a technician, okay? To the customer, the biggest benefit is peace of mind, knowing that their system is cared for and preventatively maintained, and that they get front-of-the-line service, and that they maybe get a waived service fee, which I hope you do. Oh, and by the way, it also has a discount. That's the last thing. Okay, so if you laser focus your training, you're going to increase your profits. It's just that simple. And now I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? So let's take a look at what KTIs can do for your company. Let's say, and this is a fictitious company, doesn't matter how many trucks, how many techs. Let's say you have 240 calls that come in, and your CSRs are converting at 60%. Can anybody tell me how many leads your techs are going to run? Good answer, 144. That's it. 240 calls came in. Your CSRs suck, and they booked 60% of them. That means you're only going to book or run 144 calls. Because guess what? Numbers don't lie, do they? And if your techs are converting at 50%, which is very low, you're only going to sell 72 of those calls. It's math. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel. I don't give a shit about that. It's numbers. If your average ticket's only $350, guess what? You're only making $25,000 a month. You're only making $25,000 a month. These numbers will not change. Okay? Now, if you tweak each area, let's say you start with your CSRs and you train them and they're now converting at 85%. They're getting attaboys like crazy. You're buying them lunch, okay? They're at 85%. Now you're going to run 204 calls, aren't you? It's math, period. And even if your techs are still sucking wind, guess what? Because you trained your CSRs, you added $10,000 to your top line. Not too shabby for a company. I'm doing crazy. I'm losing it. Not too shabby for training your CSRs. Okay? Now let's look if you work on the technicians. Your CSRs are doing great. Holy cow. You got through to your techs. You're doing specific laser-focused training. They're getting it. They're converting at 75%. Guess what that means? You're getting 153 sales. Oh, shit. They're still at $350. Ha-ha! You still got another, that's $17,000 just to train them. Well, let's say you get them running on all cylinders. Everything is jamming. Everything is rocking and rolling. Guess what? $45,000 just by training your staff properly and knowing their numbers and knowing when and where to train them. A little bit goes a long way, my friends. And by laser focusing your training, you just add $74,000 to your top line. Okay? You're basically taking a $300,000 company to $1.1 million, almost 1.2. It's no bullshit. The numbers don't lie. Okay? The numbers just don't lie. All right. Let me ask you a question. Are you getting value from this webinar so far? Because, by the way, I like to entertain as much as inform, but I need to know you're getting something out of it. So, I know I'm charming and entertaining, but are you getting value? Have you written stuff down? Has anyone gotten gold nuggets yet?
So as the comments come in, Jason says, hell yeah. Mike says yes. Misty, yes, with a big exclamation. MPS, yes. So yeah, they're loving it, Joe. This is good stuff. Rick says, you bet, with all caps. Kevin Dreyer, great stuff. Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Good.
Sabrina, yes. Evergreen, yes. I'm really excited.
Let's continue. Let's find out how to make some money. Anybody want to make money? Little profit action? I'm down. Here we go. Let's kind of just recap what we covered so far, okay? We've gone over what gets measured gets worked on, right? We've gone over that. We've figured out that if it isn't written and seen, it's not real. We're on board, right? You got that. You also understand clear KPIs and KTIs in your business will improve and your profits will soar. We did that. We showed you how that works. Numbers don't lie. If you still believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, I can't help you there. Okay? So, this is what we've gone over. Now let's figure out who wants to take things to the next level. Say, I'm ready. Who wants to go to the next level? I need some water. I'm going to pass out.
Hey, Joe, while they start putting in I'm ready, James says, yes, this answered so many questions on tracking. We've already started, but we weren't sure we're going in the right direction. This is going to save us so much time. So they're tracking stuff, but they didn't know why, and they didn't know how to apply it. So this really helped to connect some dots. Eddie says, Joe's head, a solar panel for a sexy KTI machine.
Wait a minute. Who said that?
Let's see. It was, oh, man. I'm trying to find the comment. There's so many comments coming in right now. Everybody's saying they're ready. They're freaking ready. That was Eddie.
Eddie, my wife says I'm not bald. That's what she says. It's a solar panel for a sex machine.
All right. So Damon says ready. Go ahead.
Can you guys believe I'm 68 years old? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only 25. No, I win. All right.
Let's keep pressing forward. A bunch of readies, freaking ready. Hell yes, ready. Let's do it. Many good ideas. How do you implement with a small shop with 3 trucks? Ready. Oh, Misty says whoop whoop.
Wait. Who said that? Who said that?
Dave B.
Dave, listen carefully. Small shop, 3 trucks. So that's what trade is he in? Plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, or all 3? Or what's he doing?
Do not know. Tell us, Dave. Just make the assumption. Okay,
so 250. So you're doing about 750. So how hard is it to start tracking your KPIs and go from 750 to 900,000, and then from 900,000 you add 1 more truck and you're at 1.3 million? Holy shit! Let's do it.
One last question, and then we'll press forward.
Go ahead.
Evergreen Plumbing wanted to know if you can repeat, just real quick, what the definitions for KPI, KTI, and CSR is.
Okay. KPI is key performance indicators. These are specific metrics within your business that shape the financial outcome of how a truck performs or a technician performs. And then KTI is a key training indicator. This is where you're looking at the not-so-good areas of your company and laser-focusing a training pattern that will raise them up so that you can make more profit. And a CSR is a customer service representative, the person who books your calls. I hate saying the person who answers your phone, because if they think that's their job, if they think their job is to answer the phone, they are dead wrong. Their job is to schedule the call.
Awesome. Great answers. Great answers. Yeah, great answers to great questions. One last question. I'm really excited about what you're going to do next here. Someone wrote, probably a stupid question, but are we sending a tech on a lead? Are you calling that a service call, a lead?
Yeah, what kind of a lead? I mean, if it was a call in, so is it a market? It doesn't matter if it's a marketed lead or anything. That's a service call. He's going on a call.
Yeah.
So that's 1 call ran.
And then
Jim, if he doesn't sell anything, it's 0 calls sold.
Got it. And then Jim says, this is really reinforcing what I already know to be true. We got away from measuring and have suffered because of it. So this is going to get him back on track. So we got a bunch of readies. Everybody wants to take things to the next level. So let's press forward.
Okay, I know I can't see you all, but it's funny in my head to picture you're all going to do this. Who wants a KTI board? Raise your hand.
All the hands go up.
All right, here we go. So, I talked a little bit about me. I've been doing this for 11 years. I started with Clockwork Home Services. It's a small company here in Sarasota that owns the largest HVAC, plumbing, and electrical companies, Mr. Sparky, Ben Franklin, 1 Hour Heating and Air. And I started doing consulting on my own, and I really enjoyed it, traveling all over the country. And then I went to work in one of the businesses, happened to be a franchise, and that's where I realized, wow, nobody puts baby in a box. You can't put baby in a corner, man. Different businesses have to run differently because the owners have different cultures and ideas. You can't just say, do this way. It has to be designed for the separate company, okay? And I love it. I love contractors. I think this industry is amazing. It saddens me that there aren't enough people going into the industry. I even told my son, my 12-year-old son, if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to. I would love to get him in a trade. There is money in poop. I'll tell you that right now. There is a lot of money in poop. All right. My partner, I actually went to high school with his older brother. His older brother is my best friend. And they say that you should hire people smarter than you. Well, I decided to go into business with a guy much smarter than me. And it was the smartest thing I ever did, okay? He is like a genius. He's worked for some huge companies. He was retired. He's young. He's retired twice in his life. Got bored, went back to work. Retired twice. Smart guy. But the thing that he brings to the table with us is not only the training platform and the internet stuff that I'm totally blind on, is he really is phenomenal at helping to teach people operational proficiency, procedure implementation, system integration. I mean, he's really dialed in on that. And that's what I love. I'm very lucky to have him as a partner, my friend Phil Donato. Another friend, this is a guy, oh, by the way, do you remember when I said I met a plumber that was a millionaire? This is him, Ron Williams. He's been a friend of mine for 11 years, super great guy, funny as hell, smart as could be, runs his business by the systems. And he understands that this is how it works. He's one of our owner coaches. He's successful, he's profitable, he's smart, and he loves to share with contractors. Another great guy that I met 9 years ago, became another one of my best friends, is Mario Campirano. He is out of LA. He had I sold him as Mr. Sparky. He was first trying the electric, then he was a Mr. Sparky, then he debranded and rebranded as LA Home Services. Last year, in electrical, because he just added the plumbing and HVAC, he did $7.3 million at 31% net profit. He is a numbers master. He is a ninja, lives by the numbers. Now, I don't know anything about marketing. I don't. It's a mystery to me. So you know what I did? I went out and I found the smartest business partner I could. And then I went out and I found the best marketing partner I could. And I suckered Josh into creating a strategic partnership with us. And it worked. It worked. I got in bed with one of the best marketing people in the freaking country. Josh, I can't tell you how many times I laugh over that. I can't believe you still talk to me. But yeah, anything marketing, he's just phenomenal and helps us with. Then I met Kathy Nielsen along the way when I worked at a blue collar coach. And she is like a guru when it comes to service type and successware, QuickBooks. She's phenomenal when it comes to onboarding and company culture and things of that nature. She hooked me up with Pam Clearwater. I'm okay with numbers. I do need a calculator for everything, by the way. But Pam is, I can't even say enough about the way she explains things and gets people to understand the difference between a P&L and a cash flow statement You know, she really is phenomenal at dealing with contractors. She's been dealing with contractors for 30 years. She's been in some of the best, biggest companies there is, helping them with financial business analysis, KPI development, cash flow analysis. She's phenomenal. So really, we have surrounded ourselves with some smart flipping people, okay? Really smart people. And we offer a wide range of consulting and training options for every size company. Do you remember what I said? You can't just put one company in a box, right? Everybody has different issues. So why is it that if you're a company with this issue and another company with this issue go to someplace and they end up doing the same system and program and paying the same amount, when one doesn't need all of it and one needs more of it? So we have a wide variety of training options. Hey, you guys remember this from the CSR board? Guess what? We have online and live training for your CSRs. We can actually, with an online portal, train them, and we can do live webinars. Remember this with your techs? Having issues there? Online and live training for your techs, and we do on-site. I'm going to show you everything that we do. Only the things that are tracked get worked on. Period, end of story. So we deal with online and live training, and the difference between coaches and consultants, we're more consultants than we are coaches. I'm really not a happy-go-lucky rah-rah guy. I'm really not. I'm more of a no BS, in-your-face, hey, this is the problem, let's get it done and implement systems. And I'd like to hold you accountable kind of a guy. We help companies with their CSRs, their technicians, their marketing, their management, and their leadership. And here's how we do it. We have live CSR training, both online, webinars, and on-site. Live technician training. We have live management training. We have live leadership training. We have online, yeah, I can't convince Josh to do the live stuff for us yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, don't worry. But we do have online marketing training, okay? We use online training classes. That means at your convenience, at your tech's convenience, they can go onto our training portal and actually get trained. We do weekly accountability sessions. Our owners get together every week, and we actually share our KTI board, and we hold each other accountable. We analyze them and talk about them. And we also go over specific industry-specific issues and company-specific issues and help each other solve them. Webinar training. Similar to this, but our members get different webinars every month, and we keep adding more webinars. I'm bringing guest speakers. So I am a guest speaker here with Josh. Josh is going to be a guest speaker from my group, right, Josh?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. See, that's how you get them to say yes. On-site training. Part of the difference between a coach and a consultant is that coaching platforms are basically designed so that you figure out what you need and you come to the answers yourself. You just have somebody coaching you and making you feel good about it. All right? Consulting is we're going to come in if you need us to, and we're actually going to find the holes and the problems, and we're going to start implementing systems with you and showing you how to write systems and procedures, how to update your systems and procedures, how to get your training going. We're going to, I hate saying this, but it's the only way I know. We're going to hold your hand and make sure you're profitable because we hold ourselves accountable as well, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. We have done-for-you KTI boards, dry erase KTI boards. Now, these aren't the boards. They're dry erase posters. So don't think I'm going to ship you these 48 by 36 monstrosities. They're rolled up posters, but they're dry erase, okay? Custom quarterly training calendar. The one place most companies fail the most is not training properly, not training consistently. So if it's written and seen, right? We said if it's written and seen, it's more likely you get paid attention to. So this is up in your office, and we actually do quarterly training where we set up the calendar with you. You know what day you're supposed to do what, ride-along, vendor training, regular training, and also differentiate between training and needs. Business calculators and forms, margin calculators, cash flow calculators. We have inspection forms. You name it, we've got it. There's so much value in what we offer. It's really a ton. I mean, Josh and I went over it one day, and he was like, okay, enough already. So basically, our goal at the Service Profit Group is your profitability, okay? Look, you can make $10 million. If you're not making a profit, then you suck, okay? It's that simple. You're in business to make a profit. My belief is volume is vanity and profit is sanity. I'd love for you to keep more of the money you make. Love it, love it, love it. So I have a question, and I'd like you to type into the box in a minute. If you could increase your revenue and get control of your time and increase your profit margin, be able to systematize your business so you're not held hostage, you can sell it at any time and the system will run itself, and you actually had a team of consultants dedicated to your success, I'd like you to put some numbers in there. I'd like to get an idea of what it's worth to you guys. I really would. A couple of people, just somebody, anybody. How much is it worth to have a team of dedicated consultants? What is that truly worth to you? I'm interested to see what your thoughts are.
So Jason Cummings says $10,000. Dave B says $1,000 a year. Who else? Just a couple more. We got a lot of you on with us. MPMS says 5,000. So that gives us some numbers. Troy Brock says percentage of the company.
Interesting. All right, I'm just curious. That's all. I'm just curious as to what your thoughts are.
Evergreen, all right. $1,500 to $1,000 a month. So some good feedback in the box.
All right. Some people are really understanding, but here's the thing. Because you invested your valuable time today, and I do respect you for your time and what you do for the world. I mean, without you guys, we'd be sweating our buns off, freezing our buns off, crapping outside, or shocking the shit out of ourselves. Because you invested your time today, we'd like to give you a Technician KTI board, 2 accountability sessions, 4 business webinars. We're going to talk about finances, operations, leadership, and KPIs, and a full 1-month open membership, our management membership, which is normally $759. Okay, but because you gave us your time today, and I appreciate that, you get it all for $129. That's it. It's a $630 savings. All right, it's not too bad for an hour of your time, right? It really is insane. $129 to start improving your company. And remember I told you I'd give you something for free? If you take advantage of this offer today, we're also going to give you a one-on-one deep dive company performance evaluation. This is where we do it on a webinar, okay? We go over a questionnaire, it takes about an hour, all right? And we deep dive into the company and give you a report to show you where the strong points and not so strong points in the company are. And it gives you a rating scale. And you want to be 75% or better, okay? But it'll give you that. And then it also gives you a detailed report of each piece of your company where you're losing or gaining money, okay? So it will show you where you're losing and gaining money. This is a $250 value for free, absolutely free. All right? So if you want to take advantage of this profit-producing insane offer, all you have to do is type the word yes in the chat box. All you have to do is type the word yes. Done deal. Okay?
The yeses are flying in, by the way. Lots of yeses,
you can actually you can start implementing profit-producing changes right now. Literally, tomorrow I'll mail out your KTI boards. I do a priority mail, not express, but you'll get them right away. All right? So my name is Joe O'Grady. I want to thank you so much for your time, and I'd like to talk to you right now and answer some questions if you have them. And again, just type yes in, and we'll be able to get to you, and I'll show you what to do. So any questions? Come on, Josh, read me some questions, buddy.
Well, so many people typing in yes that it's going to take me a second to get back to the list. Now, I want to also tell them that they can go, for those of you that did type yes, and I think it's a no-brainer, right, guys? Because for $129, just to get the KTI boards for your technicians, it's worth it, and you get so much more value. But there's so many yeses, I think you guys are going to get bogged down. Should we put a link where they can go?
Yeah, so do you have the link, Josh?
I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in chat, so you guys, you can go to that page, the serviceprofitgroup.com/SEO.
Yeah, click on that link. Now, Dave asked a question up here. Hold on. Dave says, great deal, extremely fair. Right now, spending so much time catching up. Can I buy now and use at a later date? Absolutely. So, Dave, what will happen is everyone who enrolls today is going to get an actual phone call from me between now and probably Tuesday, because I'm traveling Monday to California to an on-site. So, but I'm going to call everybody, and we're going to set up times to meet and actually get everything set up, all right? So when I call you, Dave, all you have to do is say, hey, now's not a good time. You tell me the dates. I tell my partner, Phil, and he'll hook that up for you. So you can take advantage of it now and use it at a later date. Spreadsheet on the car KTI board. Where do you categorize estimate calls? So here's the deal. I don't believe in estimates, Misty. Misty asked the question. I don't believe in estimates. I believe in options. And estimates is a way for your technicians to be lazy and give them prices and then leave. I believe that, quite truthfully, you give them solution-based options and you ask them right then and there, which option would you like us to do? And you get a commitment to do it. So I'm not a big firm believer in estimates, but you can put it on there. And quite truthfully, if you look, Misty, and you start running those estimates as a call ran and a no call sold, you're going to see how much money you're losing, all right, by doing that. I hope that answered your question, Misty.
So a couple of questions on, if they're international. We know that MPMS is in Turks and Caicos, somebody else in Canada.
Yep. Okay, who's in Turks and Caicos?
MPMS. He said his name. It's further up the list. He's in the Caribbean.
What's his name?
The company is MPMS.
Oh, I'd love to do an on-site with that company. I love Turks and Caicos. I do. I've been there with my wife to Grand Turk, and I got to tell you, we went to Cuba before Cuba opened from Turks and Caicos. Oh, I love Turks and Caicos. I'm not going to say I'm going to give you a free on-site, but I might come close. And doesn't seem to work with Canada. So, Kevin, do you know Jim Gregg in Canada?
Of course, he says.
Okay. It does work. I've worked with Jim Gregg. He sold you an igloo.
Hey, so just to confirm, for those of you that are going to that link and setting yourself up, any issues with opening the link or placing the order? Is there any problems on that front? Okay, it's working.
Phil says that they are coming through.
Okay.
And also, just so you guys know, as soon as you order, you're going to get a couple of emails, right? Check your spam if you don't get them right away, because they're auto-generated emails, and sometimes they get flagged as spam. So take them out of spam and tell your computer that these aren't spam, because you're going to get other emails from them. How are you tracking the calls taken by each CSR? You can do it manually, or there's companies like CallCap. Service Titan has it in their program. You can get CallCap to do that, or you can do it the good old-fashioned way, trust. And Gelati, let's see.
So another question I see here, Joe. Eddie was asking, what's the name of the other softwares you guys mentioned besides Service Titan that can do some of the raw data capture?
Wait, say that again?
What are some of the other softwares besides Service Titan that do some of the same stuff in terms of collecting the raw data?
So I'm pretty sure Successware does, but Successware does. I'm pretty sure that House Call Pro does. Pretty sure that I think all of them do collect the raw data now, but don't record the calls and grade them. There's a great company, I think it's called, I know it's called CallCap, and what they do is they actually grade the calls, so you can go minute by minute and see what's coming in. How long does it take to change from an hourly-based plumbing service business to flat rate? Well, it can take as little as 10 minutes. You just make the decision, okay? But actually converting, training your techs, and getting things done, I'd say takes 3 to 6 months. How difficult is this? It depends on the owner. Because if the owner and the service managers are not all in, it's very difficult to convey that to the staff. And you have to change the way you answer the phone, the way you schedule the calls. Your techs have to be used to a whole different line of things. We actually, we have one company that we work with in Illinois who did that a year and a half ago. And you know, they're doing phenomenally well. They hit $7 million this year. And by the way, they were doing about $4 million beforehand. They jumped because they really changed their thoughts and way of doing business. And yes, there were growing pains. They lost, and this is, I'll tell you the truth, it doesn't matter. They lost half of their techs immediately. As soon as they went to flat rate residential, they were like gone. Tech said, to hell with this. You know, how difficult is it? It depends. It really depends on what you're willing to put into it, how much time you're looking to put into it, how serious you are. Some guys do it because, look, some people, I'm talking to Evergreen Plumbing here, some people go to flat rate because everybody else is doing it. I agree and believe in flat rate, but if it's not part of your company culture and you're profitable now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you'd like, you know, Evergreen, are you going to sign up for the special? Type yes or no. Okay, when you sign up and I give you a call, we can talk about this offline and I can go over this in a little more detail. Is that fair?
Hey, Joe, there was another question from Eddie, just for clarification. He was asking about those systems. So I can say, for systems like Service Titan, there's Service Titan, there's House Call Pro. He was asking, though, is there one called Field Desk that you know of, Joe? Field Edge? I think it's Field Edge.
Field Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Field Edge is a good program, too.
Yep.
How do you get a business tradesman to change what he did for 30 years? Okay. All right. That's a really great question. How do you get a business or a tradesman to change what he did for 36 years and to get his business to the next level? Here are a couple of ways that we work with you, okay? One is getting you to understand what an axiom is. And that's nothing more than a belief that is handed down from generation to generation, right? And then talk about limited belief systems. And if I can show you the money and show you, I had one company who took one technician, not the whole company, one technician, and put him on flat rate, changed the way they did business with one tech, and let his 7 other techs just keep doing what they were doing for 3 months. And then when the numbers came in, it was so easy. You know? It was so easy. He looked at the numbers. Holy cow. I got 7 guys, right, doing the old way. I got one guy who's making half of what 7 guys are making, but we're more profitable on the one guy. Numbers don't lie, my friends. So sometimes you do it piece by piece. MPMS, you're in Trinidad, right? I'll come out there and do an on-site and show you, brother. Absolutely. I will come out there in a heartbeat. Can I come out during Carnival Festival? Oh, yeah. All right. Let's do it. I like it. I like it. Hey, Phil, peace out. I'm going to Trinidad for a week.
This is going to go with
Phil
you.
just said he's coming with me. All right. So I will answer. Here's what I'd like you all to do. I'm also going to do 2 things that no other business coach or consultant has ever done. I want you to get out a pen and piece of paper. Write down these 10 digits. 941 894 9846. Josh, can you tell them what I just gave them?
I believe that's your mobile number.
That's my personal cell phone number. You can call me at any time, folks. Hey, by the way, if you call me early in the morning before 8 a.m., I'm a little bitch until I get my coffee. So what happens is I answer the phone and I say, I'll call you back, and I get my 941-894-98. Yep, that's it. I get my coffee and I'll call you back. I am a little bitch in the morning. I'm not a morning person. I really am not.
And one thing I can say for Joe is he always answers his cell phone number. Or he'll get back to you within a couple of minutes. Hey, look, I got your message, but he's one of the few guys that takes the cell phone and the personal calls very seriously.
Yeah, because you know what? You guys are wonderful and you deserve it. That's why. And if you're willing to be a member, even at $129 level, and try this out, you deserve a call back, or you deserve me to answer the phone when you have a question or a comment. Absolutely. No, I am truly, like you're in the service business, I'm in the service business, but I'm here to service you guys and to help you out and try and make everything a little better. So, John, I just want to let you know that I have to get running simply because I have to take Phil to the airport so he can get back to his wife and kids.
All right, this was awesome, man. I thank you so much for the value you shared. Thank you for the great insights. We had, believe it or not, folks, we had 70, 79, 80 people throughout the majority of the call. I think it was awesome. The feedback was great. A lot of people were excited about this. So kudos to you. And for those of you that joined us, thanks for your time. I'm glad you got value. I'm excited to get you connected with Joe. And, we both have one common goal, and that's to see you increase your sales, grow your revenue, increase your profitability, really accomplish your goals in your company. So go out there, continue to grow your business, and we'll see you on another session just like this.